Today, we're counting down the top 10 suburbs to live in the Nashville area according to niche.com. Every single year, niche.com comes out with this list of best, really everything for different areas. So they come out with the best schools, the best cities, the best suburbs, the best towns to live, a lot of different things. And it's based on data that they've compiled from many different sources. They're taking into consideration cost of living, schools, safety, proximity to amenities, and different things. So a lot of different factors go into this. I'm going to remind you that this is not my list. This is niche.com's list. I'm just counting this down for you. Feel free to leave in the comments your thoughts or opinions. If you agree with this list or if you don't, if there's somewhere that should have made the list you feel like, please drop that in the comments as well. Would love to hear that. But this is just a great way to get us started on talking about some of the best suburbs to live in and around the Nashville area. Some of these suburbs are going to be the same as last year. Last year, the suburb that came in number 1 was Brentwood. So we're going to see if that is still true today. But we're going to start with number 10, counting these down. Now, I'm going to link niche.com in the comments so that you can go and look this up as well and see what some of these factors are. They also have reviews on there from people who live in these areas just to talk about different points about it. So if you want to get in there and read those as well, you can do that and kind of see where all that data comes from. So head to the description and look for that if you want to check that out. But first, if this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Jennifer Gramling. I'm a real estate agent here in Nashville and the surrounding area. I just put out these videos trying to get you more familiar with Nashville. If you're thinking about moving here or relocating, this is going to be a great channel for you. So be sure to subscribe, hit the like button if this was helpful to you. And like I said, I am an agent in the area, so if you have questions at all about moving here or relocating, feel free to reach out to me. You can find all my contact information in the description. You can call, text, email, however you want to get in touch, and we can help you get all those relocating questions answered. We're helping people just like you every single day relocate to the area. It's what we specialize in, so again, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump right into these top 10 suburbs to live in the Nashville area. Okay, and also keep in mind, I do have videos on several of these different areas. So if you're curious and you want to find out more about some of these, you can go search my channel and find these other videos for more in-depth information. We're just going to go high level on this. So we're not here all day, but lots of videos out there on these areas for you to check out. And if you have questions at all, like I said, be sure to reach out. Okay, so coming in at number 10 on this list is going to be Spring Hill, Tennessee. Spring Hill is a really popular, booming area. It's been growing for a long time. It's seen a ton of growth over the last 10 years. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is take a look at where it's located. It's gonna be located right here, right next to Thompson Station on the very south side of Nashville. So you have to go through Brentwood, Franklin, Thompson Station to get down here to Spring Hill, but it's really not that far away. Kind of the issue becomes traffic getting in and out of Spring Hill. That has been known to be kind of a thing, but still, even without traffic, you're about 30 to 35 minutes from downtown Nashville if you're not traveling during some of those peak times. If you're traveling during some of those peak times, it can be a little bit more challenging, but this is going to be located in Williamson County and Murray County. So you've got two different counties here. So this northern half is going to be more Williamson County. Southern half is going to be a little bit more of that Murray County side. So that's also going to split your school districts, just so that you know that. But you have a lot of things in Spring Hill here. You've got access to restaurants, the highway, shopping, and then you're also close to a lot of outdoor things. You're also only about 15 to 20 minutes away from Franklin, which is nice. And like we said, about 30 to 35 minutes from Nashville. And then the airport's gonna be right over here. So you're not too far from the airport as well if you're needed to commute. So it's actually a really great location. You're a little bit further out from the city, but you still have all the amenities and things that you need in the Spring Hill area, with more and more commercial things coming to that area as it continues to grow. So you can kind of see their niche grade here. So you've got an A-, good for families, A for jobs, C for commute. That's kind of what I was talking about before, that it does get a little bit jammed up there. So you can dig into these numbers and see what you think for yourself. They're showing a population here of 51,000 in Spring Hill, just to give you a little bit of an idea of size. You are right next to Thompson Station, which is much smaller, and you'll share a lot of amenities with those Thompson Station people. And if we want to jump over here to home prices, just to give you an idea, you've got an average sale price of $589,000 here in 2024 and $535,000 as your median price. That's up 4% from last year, as you can see from March of 2023. So price is still on the rise, really to do with supply and demand. But this is a much lower number compared to some of the other Williamson County suburbs that you're gonna see. So that is one of the reasons that Spring Hill is fairly popular, because you can get that median home price a little bit lower. Now, keep in mind that this does cover two counties, like I said. So if you're in Murray County, it's gonna be a little bit lower. If you're in Williamson County, this price is gonna be a little bit higher. but it is going to be one of your lower price suburbs in that Williamson County area, which is very, very desirable. So just something to keep in mind. Now, schools you're going to be zoned for here could be Williamson County or could be Murray County. So that is something that you're going to want to pay attention to if you're looking in some of these different neighborhoods, something your agent or I can help you with. Just making sure that you're staying within whatever school district you want to be in. If you want to be in one for any particular reason, you'll just want to pay attention to that because some neighborhoods may be in one county and some neighborhoods in another. And then there are even some that are a different county within the same neighborhood. So it's just something to pay attention to if you have a specific preference. And like I said, Spring Hill is coming up a lot. There's a lot of new developments going there. You've got a lot of really cool things going in. You've got new interchanges on the freeway to alleviate some of that traffic. You've got new developments going in like June Lake that are going to provide a lot of really live, work, play kinds of living situations, lots of new retail spaces, and it's just growing a lot. So Spring Hill has a lot to offer, and it also has a lot of room for growth in some of those prices of homes and things like that. So if you're buying on that lower price point, you've got a lot of room for growth in those prices. So it's just something to keep in mind. There's already a lot of really great things going on in Spring Hill, but a lot of more cool things coming. So just something to pay attention to. Okay, moving on to number 9. This is going to be Hendersonville. I really, really love Hendersonville. This is a great, great place to live. A lot of wonderful things going on here. We're going to take a look at it on the map. You're just on the north side of Old Hickory Lake, so that's a really great thing. If you like lake living, if you want to be closer to the lakes, the marinas, and all of those kinds of outdoor activities, you have really easy access to that here in the Hendersonville area, which is one big draw. But there's also just lots of really great neighborhoods, amenities, very clean and well kept. So let's take a look at where it is on the map. Okay, so right here, like I said, on this north side of Old Hickory Lake is where you'll find Hendersonville, and all this information is on niche.com. So if you go there to that website and you click on this, you can kind of navigate through here and look at, homes for sale and all of those kinds of things. Look at the different prices and all of that, but lots of information on there. But zooming out, you can see we're going to be on the northeast side of Nashville here, kind of on the opposite end of that Spring Hill, and you're going to be right up here. You've got lots of marinas, lots of lake access, you've got lots of outdoor parks here and things to enjoy. You're also going to be close to Nashville. Again, I will say sometimes the traffic going in and out of here can be a little more difficult during those times. Let's take a look and see what niche.com has to say about the commute. But you should be about 20 to 30 minutes outside of Nashville with no traffic. It's just going to depend. And then getting down here to the airport, which is going to be down here, you're going to have to go through Nashville to get over there. So you could be 35, 40 minutes depending on traffic. But overall, without traffic, not a bad commute. Will just depend on what times you're traveling. And then here in Hendersonville, you're going to be in Sumner County. So if you want to look that up for schools and those sorts of things, taxes, all of that, this is in Sumner County. And then you're also going to be right next to Gallatin over here, which Hendersonville has a ton of amenities, but Gallatin over here also has a little historic downtown that's really cute, that's coming up. It's got a lot more retail and things coming to it, a lot of that charm of one of those historic squares. And then you have a lot of newer developments, really nice and clean here in Hendersonville, like the Indian Lake shopping area, where you've got tons of retail, restaurants, everything really between the two. And again, just really easy access to get down into Nashville. Okay, and as you can see, again, you can dive into their full report card and see what they've got going on. They've got an A- here, A for public schools, A- for families, jobs, C+ for commute again, so they don't have the commute looking too awesome in and out of Hendersonville, but just something to take into consideration. Right now, they're showing a population of 61,000 in Hendersonville, so kind of a middle-sized suburb as far as some of these go. We're going to see a lot smaller than this, and we'll see some larger than this, but just kind of right in the middle of the numbers, a little bit bigger than Spring Hill, but just gives you a little bit of an idea of size. And then jumping over to median home price, just to give you an idea, this is going to be very similar actually to Spring Hill as far as prices go. So you've got an average sale price of $578,000 and a median home sale price of $537,000. So right in line with that Spring Hill number. And with that, you've got a lot of really nice newer neighborhoods going in with lots and lots of amenities, close to a lot of different things, close to a lot of shopping. So a lot of really great options for some of these neighborhoods priced in this $500,000 to $800,000 range in Hendersonville. Schools you're going to be zoned for, like I said, you're going to be in Sumner County here. It's going to vary from neighborhood to neighborhood, of course, but you're not crossing two different school districts here. So everything's going to be Sumner County. And I would just look up those schools. So you can look up the ratings on these schools. And even within different counties and districts, schools can vary as far as their ratings go. And I just encourage you to kind of dig into what those ratings are comprised of. just to see what is important to you, and feel free to reach out to the schools. Most of the schools in the area are very receptive to questions about programs and offerings and things like that, how to get registered. So I encourage you to reach out to the schools and ask whatever questions you have if schools are important to you. And like I said, one of the biggest draws to this area is the lake. Really easy access to a lot of those lake activities here in Hendersonville. So if you are into fishing, if you're into water sports, there's also a really cool mountain bike park over in Gallatin that's really easy to access. They're putting in a new massive pickleball facility as well. If pickleball is something that you're interested in, they put in tons of new running and walking and biking paths throughout. So a lot of really cool development going on in the Hendersonville area. So especially if any of these things are important to you, check out this area. It's definitely worth looking into. Okay, coming in at number 7 is going to be Oak Hill. Oak Hill is a great area. It's really, really beautiful. Pretty exclusive, just on the south side of Nashville. So let's take a look at where this is. Okay, so Oak Hill is gonna be located right here. And as you're gonna see in just a little bit, the population is very, very small in this area. It's gonna feel a little bit more rural, but you can see it's right in between Nashville and Brentwood. Brentwood is gonna be right here, and then Franklin, and it's just kind of sandwiched right in between. So it's just before you get into this more dense urban area. You've got this right here, and you've got Forest Hills right here, and both are gonna be a very small population. You've got some larger homes on some larger lots, some nicer estates. So that's really what you're gonna see in here. You're also gonna see a much higher median home price, and you'll see that right now. But you know, if you have the budget for this and you're looking for a larger home, you can find more traditional homes, you can find more modern homes on really large lots with beautiful views. This is a great location. You're also going to be located very close to some really nice golf courses, the Botanical Gardens, Percy Warner Park, which is a great place for hiking and walking. And just overall, it's a really beautiful, wonderful place to live. And now Oak Hill is going to be located in Davidson County, which is the county that's primarily Nashville and the surrounding area right here. So you will be in Davidson County here. Okay, jumping over here, you can see the scorecard that they give it here. You got an A- for families, jobs, outdoor activities, A for health and fitness. You get a C- for diversity here. You get a B for a commute because you're going to be a lot closer into Nashville. If you're trying to get into Nashville, you're not going to be far at all from the airport, probably 20 minutes or so from the airport, which is really great. And if we scroll down, you can take a look at the population right here. Like I said, really small. So about 4,700 people in this Forest Hills area. So it's going to be very, very small. And mostly because you're going to have some of those larger homes on larger lots. And it's just a small city area wise. So you're gonna have that lower population. And we're gonna refer to niche.com on this one for the median home price. Our MLS is not breaking it down for Oak Hill, so we'll just go with this. It's not always 100% accurate as far as some of these sites go, but they show the median home price being $972,000 here in this Oak Hill area. So about double what we've seen before almost. But you're very likely going to have a lot more land. You're a lot closer in towards Nashville, and a lot of these homes are going to be bigger, some of them much newer or renovated. So there are some opportunities to buy in this area. If you want to buy something, knock it down, build something new, or you can renovate something that's already existing. There are some of those opportunities, but even just those lots and those older homes are going to be a lot more expensive in this area just because it's a very desirable area to be. Now, schools you're going to be zoned here are going to be Davidson County schools. So you'll see a lot of homes zoned for like Hillsborough Comp High, Percy Priest Elementary, and John Trotwood Moore Middle School. So those are just a few. There's a couple of other ones that you could be zoned for, but those are primarily what you'll be zoned for here in this area. So if you want to look those up, if schools are important to you, take a look at those. You've also got tons and tons of private schools around this area as well. Kind of in this area in the west part of Nashville, there's a lot of private schools out that direction too. So if you're interested in private schools, you know, being in any of these areas of Brentwood, Franklin, Nashville, kind of on that west side, got a whole lot of private schools in that area to choose from if that's something that's interesting to you. And then just like I said, you're very close to downtown Nashville right here. You're very close to the Green Hills area. If you're familiar with that, you've got your Green Hills Mall. You've got loads of restaurants down there. Really, it's your most premier shopping area. If you're looking for your higher end brands, you're going to be very close to that. Like I said, great restaurants. Bluebird Cafe is right here. And just really easy access to get into a lot of the things that Nashville has to offer if you're wanting to be closer to that or have to work in that area. So it's a great spot to land if those are things that are important to you. Okay, coming in at number 6 is going to be Forest Hills, which is right next door to Oak Hill. We saw it on the map already. We'll take a look at it again. A lot of the information is going to be very similar because they are side by side. Again, it's going to be a smaller population and the housing situation is going to be very similar to that of Forest Hills, where you've got some of those bigger properties with larger homes on them. And then you're gonna have some older homes as well that have been renovated, could be renovated. A lot of different choices in here, but again, you're gonna be very close to that Green Hills area, to downtown Nashville. So let's go ahead and take a look at it on the map. Okay, so before we were looking at Oak Hill, which was right here, and here is where you have Forest Hills. So I had mentioned a couple of these places before. You've got your Radnor Lake State Park, which is a really nice state park right here. You've got tons of running trails, outdoor activities around this lake, really beautiful area. And then this Percy Warner Park is really, really beautiful also. Tons of hiking trails in and throughout here. It's absolutely beautiful. You're right next door to Belle Meade, which is a really, really nice area as well. And then just north of this again is where you're gonna have your Green Hills area right here. So really easy access to get into there. And this, you're gonna have your Trader Joe's, you'll have shopping, you'll have high-end malls, all of those kinds of things are gonna be right in this area. And then again, just right outside Nashville right here. So this is a really, really great location. And then you're also not far at all from Franklin. If you wanted to go down and enjoy that Franklin area or something in Brentwood, you're right in between those areas. So you kind of have the best of all worlds in this little pocket right here. And then you also have some really nice golf courses in and around this area too, if you like to golf. So just other things to keep in mind if you're thinking about this area. And you can see right here, their overall grade. You can kind of look over this if you want to jump back in here and look. You've got a B for commute, A for health and fitness. Again, you get a C for diversity. A, good for families, jobs, and outdoor activities. A lot of really nice outdoor activities around here. Like, I can't stress that enough. But then if we scroll down, again, you're gonna have a population of about 4,900 people here. So about the same as Oak Hill, really, really small area land-wise and also population-wise. So it's not gonna be super dense in here, although you are closer to a lot of those more dense areas. So it kind of gives you the best of all things. And then if we scroll down, your median home price here, it's gonna be a little bit higher here than it was in Oak Hill. So you're looking at $1,038,000 for the median home price here in this area. So you can find some of those much higher priced homes in here, as well as some others, but just even entry level to find a home to renovate, or if you choose to find something and build, your entry point here is gonna be much higher. Now, schools you're gonna be zoned for, again, you're gonna be in Davidson County here, so you will be paying Davidson County taxes. And the schools are gonna be similar to that of Oak Hill. So you'll be looking at Hillsborough Comp High, you got Julia Green Elementary, Percy Priest Elementary, that John Trotwood Middle. So if you want to look those up, if that's important to you, all of those things are around. But overall, you couldn't be in a better place as far as commuting goes and having outdoor activities being readily accessible to a lot of these different areas. This is a great, great location to be. Okay, coming in at number 5 is gonna be Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And I do have a lot of videos on different neighborhoods and things in Mount Juliet. So this is a really popular area for people who are relocating here. You've got a lot of new neighborhoods going in, a lot of new developments with a lot of really great amenities. You have a really great shopping area called Providence with lots of restaurants and all of those things. And then you're not gonna be too far outside of Nashville. You're gonna be on the east side here. So let's take a look on the map. Okay, so Mount Juliet's gonna be located right here, like I said, on this east side of Nashville, just going out 40 right here to get into this Mount Juliet area. And you can see it covers a lot of different area, but you're gonna be just on the south side of Old Hickory here, and then you're gonna be on the north side of Percy Priest Lake. Percy Priest you cannot live on, but Old Hickory you can live on. And these are just the city limits here. So Mount Juliet actually is quite a bit larger than what you're seeing right here. These are the city limits, but some of this other land is also Mount Juliet. So just keep that in mind. It just wouldn't be within those city limits. But right here is going to be where your major shopping and everything is going to be that you need. As far as larger developments go, this is going to be your Providence area. You have shopping here, you have movie theaters, restaurants, a lot of things. But then even as you continue up here, you've got a lot more shopping. You've got grocery stores up here if you want to be up closer to the lake. Lots of amenities up here this way too. So like I said, this is just a really popular area for people to move to, mostly because it's really close to Nashville. I'll be interested to see what the commute rating they give it is. It can get a little bit jammed up during those rush hour times. Outside of that, you're looking at, 20 to 30 minutes into Nashville, depending on what part of Mount Juliet you're in. And then talking about the counties, this is going to be similar to some of those other ones. Over here on this west side, you could end up in Davidson County. So some of this would be Davidson County, but most of it is going to be in Wilson County. So again, when we get to talk about schools, that plays a factor. So you'll want to pay attention if you would prefer to be in Davidson County schools or you would prefer to be in Wilson County schools. It's going to make a difference. So I just always tell people, even if you think just always make sure you double check your schools, because you don't want to buy something thinking that you're in one school zone and you end up in another. That wouldn't make anyone happy. So always just make sure that you're checking that. I do have tools for a lot of these different counties for you to go in and check the address, but then it's always great to just call too if you're 100% making a decision on something, just to call and find out for sure. But again, just being in this area, you have access to both of these lakes, which is really, really nice. If you're into water sports, you can boat, kayak, fish, whatever you want to do on either one of these lakes, and you have great access to both of those depending on what part of town you're in. You've got lots of state parks and things out this way as well if you're into hiking and getting into the outdoors. A lot of outdoor activities out in this area too. Looking at our rating here, it gets an A as an overall grade, A for schools, housing, families, jobs. You get a B- for commute, which isn't terrible. You get a B+ for diversity, B+ for outdoor activities, B for cost of living. So again, if you want to dive into these and take a look, you're welcome to do that. And then scrolling down, so looking at the population, you're at almost 40,000 people in this Mount Juliet area, just to give you an idea of size. So it is going to be a larger area, not a huge population, just really kind of in the middle, but kind of on the lower side of population, which a lot of people really do like. It is growing at a faster pace though. Let's take a look at the median home prices here. We've got an average sale price here of $608,000 and a median home sale price of $563,000. Both have gone up 6% over the last year, just to give you an idea. So I know a lot of people thought housing prices were going to drop. They continue to go up, simply a supply and demand issue. We are undersupplied for the amount of demand of people buying houses here. So prices continue to rise. But honestly, still really affordable in this Mount Juliet area at that $608,000, especially compared to the last couple that we saw and some of the ones that are coming up. You really have a lot of nice options in the $500,000 to $800,000 range in this Mount Juliet area. If that's your price point, a lot of great options in here and definitely worth checking out. Now, like I said, schools you'll be zoned for here, it's gonna mostly be Wilson County. So you can look those up. Schools are important. You will be somewhat in Davidson County, and that will depend on where you end up if you're on that Davidson County side. There's not going to be a ton of those, but there are some. So again, just something to look out for if you have a preference one way or the other. But Mount Juliet is growing a ton. You have a lot of new build neighborhoods. You can also find homes out on property if you're looking for somewhere to live that you can find more property and a little bit more rural feel, or you want to be out on the lake. You can do that too. So you've got a lot of different types of living in the Mount Juliet area to accommodate whatever you're looking for. So it's also nice if you have multiple people moving here. I have a lot of people call me and they're moving here and their parents are moving here and they're looking for two different types of lifestyles. You can definitely get that in the Mount Juliet area. So definitely worth looking into. Okay, so moving on to number 4, that's gonna be Thompson Station, which we touched on just a little bit ago when we were talking about Spring Hill because it's right next door to that. And a little bit, sometimes you don't know which one you're in or the other. Thompson Station is gonna be a little bit more rural than Spring Hill, but you have all of the great amenities to take advantage of in Spring Hill, so it's kind of a nice balance. Let's take a look at where it is on the map. Okay, so Thompson Station is gonna be located right here, like I said, just above Spring Hill and then just south of this Franklin area. So it's gonna be really small. It's gonna have a smaller population, but it's a really, really nice area. You've got some brand new schools in here. You've got access to everything and all of the retail and things that are going in this Spring Hill area, but you don't quite have that much congestion in a lot of this Thompson Station area. You've also got really easy access up into Franklin. Up this road right here, it takes you no time to get up into Franklin if you want to enjoy that. And you're also really close to the Leapers Fork area of Franklin if you're interested in that. And if you haven't heard of that, it's a really great area on the west side of Franklin with another little historic downtown, little art galleries and places to eat, which is really great. And then you've got a lot of outdoor activity over here as well. You've got the Natchez Trace Parkway, and off that Natchez Trace Parkway, you've got tons of hiking trails and waterfalls, just a lot of outdoor activities and things to take advantage of over in that Leapers Fork area off that Natchez Trace. So a lot of really great outdoor activities. Now, commute to get into downtown Nashville, again, you're gonna be about 30 minutes, but depending on traffic, that's what's really going to make your difference here. You do have to contend with some of the Spring Hill traffic. So a lot of that hopefully will start to be alleviated as they put in some of these new interchanges and things that they have planned. But outside of that time, the commute is not bad at all and will just depend on the day and weather and all of those sorts of factors. And then that'll also put you about 35 minutes to the airport. So not a bad commute really from any of these places that we're talking about. It's not going to be a bad commute to get in over to the airport. It's really only going to be about 35 minutes depending on where you are. Okay, and looking at our niche grade, we get an overall A, public schools, good for families, jobs. You get a B for housing. You get a B for diversity, and then you're gonna get a C for commute again. So that's kind of where that Spring Hill traffic is coming in right there. But looking at the population, you're about 7,400 people. So Thompson Station, like I said, it's going to be a much smaller area, a lot less populated, but you are a lot closer to that Spring Hill, which I believe was around 50,000 people or something like that. So you've got access to that larger area with more amenities, but you're going to be a little bit smaller in a lot of this Thompson Station area. Okay, and this is where we're going to see a big jump. So we're jumping over to the home prices in Thompson Station. So compared to Spring Hill, you're going to have a really big difference in home prices here. So if you take a look, your average sale price here is going to be 1.1 million, and your median sale price is going to be 880,000. If you remember, in Spring Hill, that was about 500,000, 550,000, somewhere in there. So you've got a big price jump from Thompson Station to Spring Hill. Now that will a little bit have to do with the fact that Spring Hill is in two different counties, but they're just building different style neighborhoods in the two different areas. So if you're looking for some more of those really high-end builders, now you can find those things obviously in Spring Hill, but Thompson Station is just gonna have a little bit more of those and a little less of the smaller homes on the smaller lots. Thompson Station, some of those developments, and keep in mind there's a lot fewer developments in Thompson Station too. So that will bring your number up a little bit because you have less developments, but the newer developments are going to be some of those larger houses on larger lots with more upgrades and more improvements. So that's going to bring that median and average home price up a little bit because you have a less concentration of neighborhoods, and the newer neighborhoods that are going in are going to be a little bit more high end. So just something to keep in mind. If you're interested in this area, happy to send you some compare and contrasting information as far as some of these neighborhoods go, just to give you a clearer picture of that. But that gives you an idea of what some of those median and average home prices are going to be in this Thompson Station area. Now, schools that you're going to be zoned for here, this is going to be all Williamson County. You're very likely going to be zoned for schools like Thompson Station Elementary, Thompson Station Middle, and Independence High. You might be zoned for a different school in there somewhere, but those are typically some of the primary ones. So look those up if schools are important to you. But that is going to be all Williamson County. And this area of Thompson Station is just really desirable because you do have that easy access to Franklin. You do have easy access to Spring Hill, but you are a little bit more rural feeling. You can get some of those really nice houses on really beautiful lots with pretty views. So kind of being in between those two areas and having access to everything, quick commute to Nashville, it's a really great place to be. Okay, and coming in at number 3, same as last year, is going to be Franklin, Tennessee. So I will say most of the calls that I get, a lot of people call me are interested in Franklin, and that is because they see all these videos, they see all the photos. Franklin really is just so very charming, and people are really, really drawn to that. And I definitely know why. It's really, really cute. That historic downtown center has a lot of charm. You've got a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great local stores. It just has a lot to offer, but not even just that. There's tons of tech here, tons of jobs, lots of draw to the Franklin area. So it's no surprise that it's coming in at number 3. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look at it on the map. Okay, so right here is where Franklin is. So again, this is the city limit, so it's quite a bit bigger than this. Kind of goes out here if you get outside of those city limits, but this gives you an idea. You've got your historic downtown Franklin right here. You have the Cool Springs area over here, which bleeds a little bit into this Brentwood area. So you have lots of newer developments, malls, Trader Joe's, Costco, Whole Foods, all of that is going to be right in this area. And then right over here in this downtown Franklin area is going to be the historic downtown square, which you've probably seen a lot of photos of if you've done research for any time about moving to the Nashville area. Very, very cute down here. And then you're just really, a 20 to 30 minute drive from downtown Nashville, depending on where you are. If you're over on this west side of Franklin, it's going to take you longer to get into Nashville. And commute can vary, again, just depending on what time of day you're going, but no traffic. You could be 20 minutes to 30 minutes to 35, just depending on where in town you are. But Franklin has a lot to offer. Like I said, it's very, very popular and very, very charming. You're going to be about 30 minutes to the airport and easy access really to everything, but you also have everything you need right here in the Franklin area. Taking a look at their report card, they get an A+ overall grade for public schools, good for families, jobs, outdoor activities. They get an A- for diversity, A- for nightlife. There's lots of places actually to go out, see live music, and enjoy the nightlife in Franklin. You get an A for health and fitness. There's tons of outdoor places. You've got the Harpeth River where you can go and canoe and kayak. You've got lots of hiking trails, running trails, tons of parks and outdoor activities. You get a B for commute here, which is great. And then if we go down here, so they've got the population of Franklin at about 83,000 people right now. So this is going to be one of the larger suburbs we've seen and growing simply because it is so popular. but still, I mean, a really manageable size compared to some other cities in some other states. 83,000 is actually a really nice population, and the amount of land that this covers with this 83,000, you can still find tons and tons of rural properties. So if you want to be on a rural property, you can definitely find that in the Franklin area. If you want to be in more of a neighborhood situation with amenities, you can find that too, but you can really find a lot of both. So beautiful horse farms, beautiful horse country in Franklin, a lot of variety to the different housing types. If you're looking to be in the Franklin area, you can even be in a condo flat in the historic downtown, or you can be on a horse property. So lots of different options as far as types of living in the Franklin area. Now, Williamson County is one of the most expensive counties to live in the state. And you're gonna see that in some of these, like we just saw in Thompson Station. We're gonna see it right here in Franklin as well. If you take a look at the average sale price of a home here, it's gonna be 1.139 right now, which is up 5% from last year. So well over $1 million for the average sale price. For the median home sale price, it's gonna be $970,000, again, up 5% from last year. So much higher price point than some of these other locations that we've seen. But I will say that it is one of the most requested places to live when people are moving here because of that charm, because of the different properties. The landscape in Williamson County is just beautiful. Tons of rolling hills and trees, really is very picturesque, and just a lot to offer in this area. Tons of jobs, activities, outdoor activities, so a big draw to this area. And you are getting some of your higher end luxury builders that are building in some of these Williamson County developments, as opposed to some of the others. If you're looking for luxury, you may not find it as much in some of the other locations, but you're getting a lot of some of those luxury builders in this area, and you'll see that reflected in this price point. So schools that you're gonna be zoned for, you will be in Williamson County in Franklin. There's actually a lot of different schools that you could be zoned for in this area. Franklin's very, very large. So you could be zoned for any number of schools depending on which part of town you're in, but you will be in Williamson County schools, so you can feel free to look those up as well. And then you will have the Williamson County School District. There's also the Franklin Special School District, which some homes will be zoned for. You can look that up as well. They offer different programs than just the Williamson County School District. So something worth looking into if you have special interests in different types of education. You can look into that Franklin Special School District as well and see what they offer that's different compared to just the regular Williamson County District. But Franklin overall, I have lots of videos on Franklin for you to check out. I won't go on too much about it, but it's a really, really cool place to live, a lot to offer. And even if you're not living directly in Franklin, it's a great place to go hang out, even if you're living in some of these other areas. Lots of farmers markets, the factory, Harlandale Farm, just a lot to take advantage of in Franklin. So even if you're not living in that area, a lot to come check out and enjoy if you're living nearby. Okay, last year, Brentwood was #1. This year, Brentwood has dropped to #2 as the second best suburb to live in the Nashville area. So Brentwood is fantastic, has a lot to offer. Again, I have a lot of videos on the Brentwood area if you want to check those out. I'm sure I have lots more coming out, but let's take a look at where it is on the map. Okay, so you can see it's located right here. It's going to be on the north side of Franklin, on the south side of Nashville, kind of right in between. So this is one of those cities that will cross into a couple of different counties. So kind of on this east side, you could touch into the Davidson County area, and on the north side, you can touch into Davidson County. A majority of it is going to be Williamson County, but not all of it. So even on this west side a little bit, you can get into that Davidson County. So again, depending on what you're looking for, it's just something to be aware of. It can be in both counties. Brentwood is one of those suburbs that's being developed for a long time, has been very, very popular for a very long time. And a lot of that could just be proximity into Nashville. So you're a very easy commute to get into Nashville from Brentwood. In some areas, you could be 15 minutes to 30 minutes, just depending on what part of town you're in. But it's a very, very easy commute to get into downtown Nashville from here, and very easy commute to the airport as well. You can see the airport is right here. So really easy for all of that. And they've been developing this, like I said, for a long time. So you have a lot of different variety of neighborhoods in here, older, newer, larger lots, smaller, big estates. And it's just kind of well known as one of those long-standing great places to live. So our median home price and our average home price are gonna jump quite a bit when we go over here to Brentwood. It's gonna be the highest that we've seen so far. So our average sale price in Brentwood is almost 1.5 million. And then our median sale price is gonna be 1.22. So higher median and higher average sale price here in the Brentwood area. And that's not to say that you can't find homes for less than this. There are many developments where you can buy under this price point, But in Brentwood, you tend to have more luxury builders, and you just have a larger number of luxury properties in this area, which are bringing that average and median home price up from some of those other areas. So if you're looking for luxury properties, you'll find a lot of those in the Brentwood area. You can find a lot of those in the Franklin area as well. But if luxury is kind of what you're looking for, this is a great place to start. And you will find kind of more of a concentration of these more on that south side of Nashville. Again, I have a lot of videos on the Brentwood area, so if you're looking for more information on this area, be sure to check those out. You can find all of them on my channel. Lots of information out there on Brentwood. It's a great place to live. But let's go ahead and touch on the schools a little bit. So the schools that you're gonna be zoned for here will mostly be Williamson County, but not always. Like I said, this is one of those cities, one of those suburbs where it's gonna cross into Davidson County. So there will be some in Davidson County and some in Williamson County. So if that's something that's important to you, you'll want to look into that. Make sure that you understand some of those school zones and where you're looking. And Brentwood just has a lot to offer. You can find townhomes in this area. You can find condos. You can find single family homes that are smaller in neighborhoods with amenities. You have golf course gated communities. You have really large 5-acre properties with 10,000 square foot luxury homes. There are just a lot of different housing types, a lot of different lifestyle types offered in this Brentwood area. So don't necessarily let the price tag scare you off. I know a lot of people call me and think that Brentwood is out of range for them, but there are actually some really beautiful neighborhoods, really cool neighborhoods that I really like, that may have acre lots and homes that were built, you know, in the 70s and 80s, or a more Cape Cod style. Or for instance, on the west side of Brentwood, you can find some of those mid-century modern homes that are harder to find in some other parts of the Nashville area. I love those mid-century modern homes. Sometimes you can find those, and those are just a gem. So really just a lot of different options and things that you can find that people don't necessarily know they can find in Brentwood. So reach out to me though. I mean, this is what I do, is just figuring out what people like and kind of finding them the right spot. So don't let the price tag scare you off. There's lots of different options in Brentwood. If this type of lifestyle and being around all these outdoor activities, being close to Nashville, if all of that sounds like it's for you, we might as well see if there could be some kind of fit there. Okay, and coming in at number 1 this year as the number 1 best suburb to live in around the Nashville area, that is going to be Nolanville, Tennessee. So I think it was in the number 2 spot last year, jumped to the number 1 spot. And there's a lot of reasons why. I have lots of videos out there on Nolanville. If you're curious about Nolanville and want to know more about it, be sure to go and look at those. I can give you a lot more information on it. But this is a really great place to live. So the really cool thing about Nolanville is that it is very small. It's got a very small population. You're not going to have a ton of big box stores. It's got its own little, very small little historic downtown center, again, with more like independent stores and things like that. But you have easy access to get over into Franklin for any of those other things that you need. You know, you could be 12 to 20 minutes from that Cool Springs area where your Trader Joe's, Target, Costco, Sam's, all those things are. So you're really not far at all from that, but you're a little bit more removed. So let's take a look at where it is on the map. So Nolanville is going to be located right here, as you can see. So you're just going to be on the south side of Nashville. You're going to be on the east side of Franklin and south of Brentwood. Now again, Nolanville is a little bit bigger than this. This is going to be the city limits, but parts of Brentwood and parts of Franklin, like, you sort of bleed into both of these parts from Nolanville, and some Brentwood addresses will be zoned for Nolanville schools, and some Nolanville addresses will be zoned for some Brentwood schools. So you can go back and forth between there, and we can get into the schools in just a second, but this gives you an idea of where it is. So again, if you're kind of over here in this part of Nolanville, getting over to this Cool Springs area is really easy and quick. And this is going to be where your little historic downtown is going to be. It's also going to be about 20 to 25 minutes from the historic downtown Franklin, which is nice, and everything that Brentwood has to offer. You're 25 to 30 minutes from downtown Nashville, depending on traffic, and you're only about 25 to 30 minutes from the airport, again, depending on traffic. So this is a really great location. Again, it's going to be really small. It's not going to be as populated as some of these other areas, but you have easy access to get into some of them, which is, I think, one of the reasons that it has become so popular. And if we jump into the report card, you get an A+ overall grade, A+ for public schools, housing, good for families, jobs. You get a B for cost of living, B+ for outdoor activities. You're getting a C for your commute here, so they don't like the commute as much in Nolanville. But if we scroll down, you can take a look. The population here is going to be just shy of 15,000 people. So This has grown quite a bit in the recent past, but Nolansville, yes, it's growing, but Nolansville does try to control some of that growth and not build as many high density areas as some of the other suburbs. So it's growing at a little bit of a slower pace. I know to people who live in Nolansville, it feels like it's growing a little bit faster than they might like, but it is growing at a slower pace than a lot of the other suburbs are. But it still has so much to offer. It has everything you need right in town and really easy access to some of these other areas if you need some of those bigger box stores. If we jump over to the median home price again, or your average sale price, you're looking at about $858,000 in Nolansville and $789 for the median home sale price. So it's going to be a little bit lower than Franklin, than Brentwood. But there's also something to keep in mind, and that there's not that many neighborhoods, like I mentioned, in Nolansville. So if you came to me today and said that you wanted to buy a new build in Nolansville, I would tell you you have about 2 neighborhoods that you can choose from. So there's not just like they build in all these other cities, endless amounts of new neighborhoods. There's really only 2. And for any of those new builds, you're looking at probably $1 million plus at least. So yes, you can find some of those resale homes that are going to be closer down towards this price point. But if you're looking for new builds, you are going to be well over $1 million. And there's just not that much inventory. There's not that much to choose from. I will say I do have a lot of off-market properties in Nolansville that I'm aware of, and in some of these other areas too, which kind of feels like it's a little bit the wave of the future. We might have to be digging up some of these off-market properties since there's just not that much inventory out there right now. But if you're looking in this area and you're not finding what you want because there is such limited inventory, be sure to reach out to me on that. But schools that you're going to be zoned for here, this is going to be another one of those places where you will cross over the lines. So on the very east side and the very north side, you could touch into Rutherford County or Davidson County. A majority and all the city limits are going to be within Williamson County. So again, if schools are important to you, you'll mostly be Williamson County, but there are some neighborhoods that are zoned for Davidson or Rutherford County. So it's just something that you're going to want to understand and make sure that you know. If you want to be in a specific district, then you're going to want to watch out for that. Make sure you let your agent know that you want to be in a specific district, and make sure to double check that before you write a contract, because you don't want to find yourself under contract on a house in a district that you don't want to be in. And I have heard of that happening to other people. So be on the lookout for that. And so it's no surprise that Nolansville is coming in at number 1. This is a fantastic place to live. Really has so much to offer, like I said, and I do have so many videos on it. I'll probably do a new one coming up. I'd like to do just a walking tour of Nolansville, of the downtown, of some of the shops, just to give people kind of an idea of what this area looks like. But it is a fantastic place to live. It's got lots and lots to offer, great small town feel, but close enough to everything that you need that you don't feel like you're isolated, and close to lots and lots of nightlife and things like that. So a lot to take advantage of in the Nolansville area. It's a great, great place to live. So congratulations to you, Nolansville. Okay, and so that is niche.com's top 10 suburbs to live in and around the Nashville area. Again, not my list, but just covering that for you. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know how you think this pans out. If you agree, if you disagree, if there's somewhere that should be on the list, make sure you drop that as well. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video if it was helpful to you, and reach out to me. Any questions at all, don't hesitate to call, reach out, text, however you want to get in touch with me. We'll be glad to get any and all of those questions answered. We've got a lot of other really great videos coming out soon, so be sure to stay tuned. We're going to do more city tours, neighborhood tours, and just keep you informed on all the latest information. If you're trying to relocate here, this is going to be a great channel for you. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video.